Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have so much news to go over with you all. Yesterday I was going to put out a second video, but life happens and I couldn't. So today I'm going to go ahead and expand on one article alone, and then I'm going to skim through all the rest because there's a whole bunch and every one of them is something that you should be looking into. So welcome. Thank you very much for joining in today. I do hope that you're having a good week thus far. So happy hump day to all of you, and let's get to it. Now, anyone that thinks that there are not already cells within the U.S., sleeper cells is what they're called, within the United States borders, here it says that the attack that occurred in Israel is having ripple effects around the world, and especially here in the United States with our porous borders, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a very high price to pay should these sleeper cells get activated and told, hey, go ahead, start causing havoc. Their hatred and their unwavering commitment to do harm to the United States is alive and well, and that is the truth, ladies and gentlemen. Remember I told you that I'm a cycles guy, and that about every 60 years or so there's a domestic violence cycle or a civil unrest cycle where bad things happen within the nation itself, not really from outside. Well, that's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, and it's already started to happen. Nobody in their right mind can say that our border is secure, and I would say 100% our border is not secure. There's no one that can say that it is. And here, ladies and gentlemen, they say that there's a real concern that terrorists have already crossed the borders with a group of 1.6 million, I think it's 1.7 last time I read, of illegal immigrants who evaded Border Patrol upon entry and are unknown to officials, said Mr. Morgan, the former border commissioner. Ladies and gentlemen, use the Second Amendment for what it's intended to be used for, right? Because that's what's going to save a lot of people when these bad actors start doing bad things. In my opinion, I don't think they're going to waste their time in targeting individual people in their individual households like they did in Israel. What I think they're going to do is they're going to go ahead and target those things that are very difficult for us to repair in a hurry, like our grid, like our water system, like our infrastructures that we depend on to be able to conduct everyday life. That's what I think that they would do. However, they can pretty much do anything, ladies and gentlemen, especially if we don't know that they're here. The Biden administration quietly admits worst ever illegal crossing numbers as Axios declares border more fortified than ever. So they are leading people to believe that our border is fortified, that there's nothing wrong with it. Well, ask a border town. Ask someone that actually lives in a border town that's pretty much being overrun. Heck, ask New York City, who's being overrun by illegal immigrants who don't even reside next to the border, ladies and gentlemen. Just ask them and we'll know that we do have a border crisis. Now, this in itself is tragic. More baby boomers are falling into homelessness thanks to death of spouse, expensive medical emergency, soaring rents, and many are too frail to climb bunk beds in shelters. And at the expense of what, ladies and gentlemen? At the expense of the United States government creating a deficit that's I think the third largest that's ever been created in history. Number one, at the expense of our not only federal government but state governments as well, catering to people that crossed into this country illegally instead of catering to those people that elected them into power, ladies and gentlemen. At the expense also of the government printing money and sending it to other countries so that they can take care of their borders while ours remains open. What does this all mean? It means that there's no one that's going to come to your rescue. So get prepared now and stay prepared, because I can't tell you when Armageddon is going to be, but I can tell you this, that whenever it does occur, there's not going to be anyone coming to your rescue, ladies and gentlemen, especially if they work for a 3 or 4 letter agency. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that people, even though they say, oh, you're fear-mongering, this is gloom and doom, that most people love that fear-mongering and they love that gloom and doom. And it's why sometimes when I put up a video that's not watched very often, I'm like, this must be a video where I'm trying to warn someone about something that they really need to do in order to guard against bad health. And unless you do put up like a thumbnail that says, oh my God, it's the end of the world, people won't look at it. Because I don't care what anyone says, the numbers show it. People love to click on videos that is gloomy and doomy, and that does have a factor of fear in it. Unfortunately, yesterday's video that I put up did not have that factor of fear on the title nor on the thumbnail, because not many people watch it, and that's too bad. Go watch it if you haven't. You know why? Because it's extremely important. So I'm going to go ahead and reiterate on what I talked about on yesterday's opening part of the video. 94% of U.S. tap water is contaminated by plastic fibers. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen, that even though you think that you're drinking clean water, you're not. Even bottled water that you buy from the store, at the gas station, that you think is clean is not. And I go over that on the video that I put out yesterday. What's the point? Get yourself a good water filtration system. I don't care if you use my link. I came across this post. Someone emailed it to me. U.S. silver stockpile raided by Defense Department. Future energy needs depend on U.S. silver development. The U.S. is 75% import reliant on silver. Isn't that something, ladies and gentlemen? Something that we need so much in order to live the standard of living that we currently live. And we are almost 80% reliant on other countries providing it to us. Incredible. And it's creating an urgent need to source from U.S. jurisdictions for energy future and national security. For those of you that don't know, a Tomahawk missile uses a little more than 500 ounces of silver per missile, ladies and gentlemen. That is how destructive war is. 500 ounces of silver, poof, gone, just so that we can put it in a missile to harm others. Anyways, I digress. There is a solution to the silver crisis, they say, and that is what? Invest in more mines within the United States. We have the silver. We just have too many policies and regulations blocking those that want to make a profit, that have the capital to go out there and actually mine it out of the earth so that we can be self-sufficient when it comes to silver. Same thing with energy, ladies and gentlemen. We just don't have the political will to do what we need to do in this country, that which benefits us, the people within the United States. We seem to have everything that everyone else needs, but when it comes to us, the heck with those homeless veterans, the heck with those baby boomers that are now having to lose everything and go live in shelters, the heck with the people that lost their jobs, the heck with the people that can't even put food on the table. I digress. I know I'm going on a rant because this is very important to me, but we have to get prepared. Why? Because it's going to continue to get worse before it gets better, ladies and gentlemen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I got this news from one of our community members as well. However, when I look at it, it's dated October 25th of 2022. I'm not sure if that's a typo, but I just got this in my email today. It says here that the New York Supreme Court reinstates all employees that were fired for not taking the juicy juice, and they were ordered to get back pay. The state Supreme Court found that being juicy juiced does not stop the spread of the health crisis. Imagine that, ladies and gentlemen. I heard that same quote being made so many times in the last 2 to 3 years, and people were told that there were conspiracy theories and or that they were wackos who wanted grandma to die. Well, imagine that. I digress. Let's try not to get canceled from YouTube today. Oh, what the heck, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just do one more. U.S. government pays 2 more people injured by the juicy juice. Only 2? You better wait for that number to increase exponentially as the years go by, unless they try to hide it and keep it under the blanket. The U.S. government has paid 2 more people who were injured by the juicy juice as it faces the prospect of being forced by a court to improve program for victims. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that if someone is hurt by the juicy juice of any kind, that it's not the actual pharmaceutical company that pays whatever it is that they win in court? No, it's we, the American people, you, the American taxpayer, ladies and gentlemen. They have a special fund set aside for if people do get injured by the juicy juice, that they can pay them out from that fund, and that fund is funded by taxpayers, not the corporations, i.e. pharmaceutical companies that created the juicy juice. The IRS collects $160 million from wealthy taxpayers amid increased compliance efforts. The IRS has collected roughly $160 million from wealthy taxpayers, or approximately 2 days' worth of Ukraine aid, as part of the agency's increased compliance efforts that some worry could eventually target small businesses. That is a very good thing to worry about. You know why? Because it eventually will. Once they run out of other people's money, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to go ahead and come after your money, the people that they promised things to. So they're promising you right now, hey, if you let us take from the rich, we're going to give to you. Well, eventually they're going to run out of money from the rich, and they're going to come and take it right from you. They already are, but it's just going to get worse. New poll reveals that 75% of Americans fear Israeli-Palestine conflict could lead to T attacks here in the United States of America. I have to say that the probability, as I spoke of in the beginning of this video, is very, very high, ladies and gentlemen. And that is why Americans, I'm kind of glad to see that this is happening in a way, are buying up all of the 5.56 ammunition or all of the AR-15 ammunitions. World War III fears trigger American panic buying of 5.56 ammo prices surge 39% in a week. I don't like the word panic buying because you should not be panic buying if you are prepared, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not panic buying 5.56 ammo. I've got enough, maybe for a small scale war. Just kidding, ladies and gentlemen, but in all honesty, I'm not panic buying this stuff. I'm already stocked up. I bought this stuff when it was cheap, ladies and gentlemen, and ammo lasts a very long time as long as you properly store it away. However, if you don't have enough ammo for your firearms, make sure that you go get some. My rule of thumbs for me, I know that everyone is going to go and chime in and say, oh, this is how much I get, how much I get. I say at minimum 1,000 rounds per handgun. And at a minimum, ladies and gentlemen, 2,000 to 3,000 rounds per long rifle for whatever calibers you have. But you make up your own mind on what it is that you want to have. The way that I figure mine out is that a combat load for a long rifle is between 210, let's say, to 300 or so rounds. So you're looking at 2 or 3 really, really good long battles if you have 2,000 to 3,000. Let's go ahead and carry on to our next story. For those of you that don't understand what's going on in the Middle East right now, ladies and gentlemen, is that the rulers, they want a war. They need a war. They are at the end of a line when it comes to the financial system. And the financial system is how our government and governments around the world keep their people under control. If they can control the financial system, trust me, they can control you. Why? Because as long as they can put a value to the dollars that you earn, they're putting a value to your labor. So they can pretty much say what your labor is worth as long as they control the financial system. Well, we're at the end of this financial system, and they need to do something that will distract the population and that will put the population in a place where we think we need government so that we can ask them to fix that exact same thing that they broke. So World War III, ladies and gentlemen, although I don't like to say this, is very probable. It's very likely that we do go into a world war. I will pray and hope that we don't, that this will de-escalate, not escalate, but de-escalate, ladies and gentlemen, and that we can go through a proper crash of the financial system where we don't have to fight anyone else. Again, ladies and gentlemen, protect yourselves because things are going to continue to get worse out on the streets. What can you do if a mob of rioters surround your car? Have a plan on what you would do. Have a plan on what would it take for you to actually use that self-defense tool that you carry with you. Right? Have a plan, ladies and gentlemen, because you don't want to be thinking of a plan when you actually have to take those steps that you need to in order to protect yourselves or your family. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and call it good for now. Again, if you want to revisit any of these articles, I'll leave the links on a pinned comment. Other than that, I hope that you have a great day. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.